in a popular Fox body Mustang that needs some work from top to bottom. They'll rebuild the lights, drop the vehicle with new suspension parts, and realize not everything on this Mustang is plug and play.
That turned out to be a whole lot more challenging than I think either of us expected. Using spring compressors.
Hey everyone at home, welcome to another fabulous day at the shop here at All Girls Garage. And Bogi and I are really excited to be working on this lovely little 1985 Fox Body Mustang 5.0. These are very popular back in the day, and actually still now popular to own, popular to keep around, popular to keep in the garage for like 10 years without moving.
Far too long.
Popular to modify. So this particular example, like I said, it's an 85, but I know that there's probably a lot of Fox Body enthusiasts on the other side of the screen. Right now they're like, wait a second, there are some things about this car that do not look like an 85.
And you're not wrong.
And you're not wrong, exactly.
So this is an interesting one. The owner of the car actually, at some point before it sat for like
10 years?
10 years, who knows, far too long. He actually purchased a newer Fox Body from the junkyard and took all of the stuff off of it and put it on this one. So it has airbags when they didn't have airbags.
Yeah, I think most
back
of the accessories are like from a
93, I think. Yeah. So super late.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to have to replace some components. So, Bogi and I are going to dive deep today. We're going to be replacing some suspension components, some brake components, and some yellowing components today. So, what do you want to start with?
Let's do easy stuff so we can have a win right off the bat.
Love it. Is that the lights?
No, that's the drum brakes, obviously. Yes, of course, it's the lights.
Oh, okay.
All right, what do we need for this?
I'll grab some tools. I got one side out, and you can see now that it's out, the old versus the replacement new. Can't you see the difference?
I can. It's clearly very different. And now we'll be able to see.
Yes.
It just gets worse from here. No, but seriously, this is kind of the cool thing about buying online from our vendor that we like to buy this kind of stuff from, is because we don't have to worry about doing the counter thing. We're like, okay, so it's an 80, but it's got a 90 something, and we don't have to play with that.
Exactly.
All we say is what we want.
Yeah. I want to put these in. So
you want to put those in? Okay,
yeah,
you put that one in. I'm going to do this one out. May I?
You may. Which one? I need one.
This one. Okay, left hand.
Sounds good.
Here we are.
Oh, that looks so good. Little big. There we go.
All right, we got the front lights taken care of. Of course, we want to do the same treatment to the rear lights, but there's a really cool feature you may not know about Fox Body Fords. So basically, Ford, in their ingenious wisdom, decided to cater for really lazy people. So if you didn't want to take off the body panel to change your light bulbs, all you had to do was that. Actually, there's a really horrible idea because people were stealing these left and right. It was just butyl tape that stuck your lens on. Fortunately, our new ones are held in with actual glue. So no stealing lenses on this car from here on out. But in order to change this housing, of course, I have to replace or remove the actual old housing. So a couple of bolts, this whole thing will go out. New one will go in, and like new and with a new theft deterrent system. Ugh. All right, lights are done, car is up in the air, and now it is time to face the hard reality that it is time.
You can just hear the disappointment in her voice. There was no
brakes.
excitement about those beautiful lights there, Bogi, because you know it's coming.
The lights are beautiful. These, however, are not. Word of advice, if you have drum brakes,
switch them to discs now.
Get rid of them.
But here, Bogi, you get to smack this one with a hammer. It's stuck on there a little bit. I already sprayed some WD-40
Take my
on there.
aggressions out.
But yeah, just go ahead and hit it with.
That's disappointing talking. It's already loose. Can I hit it anyway?
Yeah, you weren't supposed to know it was loose. You were supposed to hit it and then be amazing with how easy it came off. I set her for success, and she just dropped the ball. That's fine. Okay.
I didn't even get to hit it hard.
You could have still. No one would have known. The owner really wanted us to redo the entire brake system because as we drove it over onto the lift, it had pretty much no brakes. We almost hit the wall. It was fine.
No big deal.
We didn't. So now it's up on the lift.
And
all is good.
And, brakes are kind of important. So even though they look like they have plenty of meat, they're really old, and it's probably not a bad idea to just give them a refresher. Even though I hate doing drum brakes, I will concede that this is a good idea to do.
Yeah, it's all right. So you're probably looking at this and thinking to yourselves, that doesn't look that... when you're doing this by yourself, it is lousy because you're trying to hold everything into place, get this pin in, get your little spring, hold that, then you're going to get your little other thing, and then you've got your crazy little tool situation going on, and then you're going to drop it. It's all going to fall. Inevitably, you're going to push this too far. The piston's going to fall out of the wheel cylinder, go across the floor. You're going to lose a spring. You're going to knock yourself in the eye. Hopefully not knock your buddy in the eye. You got glasses, so you're fine. I'm just glad that I have help.
Can I get an amen? Preach it, sister.
Oh,
no,
this is lousy.
on the real, though, they are complicated. They are frustrating. They're not horrible. You just really have to be patient with them. Having the right tools helps. And my biggest piece of advice with doing drum brakes, take pictures.
We did.
Take pictures. Yes, I already took pictures with my trusty phone of all the different angles because inevitably you're going to get it apart and be like, did this go in front of that part or behind that part? And it's like doing a puzzle without the picture to have as a reference. So take pictures. Never take both sides apart at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to do one side, then the other.
The girls have the old drum brakes off. After the break, they'll install the new brake drum hardware and show you how they're planning on lowering this Fox body.
Ta-da! Got the wheel cylinder pulled. We are waiting on a new one to get delivered. We've got the back all painted and pretty and cleaned up, and there's two reasons for that. One is because, well, it's pretty.
Yeah, it looks great.
You did a good job. Thank you. But the more important reason is because obviously there's a lot of brake dust and rust back there, so we cleaned it up with a wire brush as well as we could, but inevitably there's going to be some stuck in there. We want to make sure it's kind of held captive so that when the brakes are back on, we don't get any loose particles getting in and be in places where they shouldn't be. So
and making noise because,
that
we can do the best job on this car in the entire freaking world, and if there's a little teeny bit of noise, the customer's going to hate us forever.
That is true.
This is like one of those places where we got to be really careful.
Yes.
So since we're still waiting on the wheel cylinder, how do you want to go about this? Because normally I kind of like to do that first, but we got to kind of move forward on this project.
Totally. And, at the end, we kind of took apart a bunch of it all together with some of the springs still in place.
Yeah.
The top springs we took off, the rest of it we kind of all took together as one. So I think if we pull out our pictures and we set up the new ones and kind of duplicate what we had, we can get that bottom portion assembled. Then as soon as the cylinder gets here, we can just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Love it. Well, shall we?
We shall.
I like how you have this one partially in place.
I tried to keep it as good as I could, but I need to find my camera.
Okay.
So that I can find the picture. So I'll be right back. Yeah, I lost my phone again.
Was that a ding? Is that 6 or 7 times now?
You shush.
Oh, well. Or does it more at the end? Finds the other one a drank, so it looks like I'm winning. Silver one is on this card. Okay. Nothing right home about it, but one thing.
Just I know. Okay, that's one. I hate drum brakes so much.
Right there. Noise. Good.
In there.
Good to go.
Ta-da! Well, the nightmare that is the drum brakes is finally over, and we get to turn our attention to something a little bit more fun.
Yeah, this isn't bad. So we picked out a really nice set of shocks and springs for him. We've got just some nice lowering springs, like 30 millimeters in the front, 25 millimeters in the rear. So it's
gonna be nice.
Not crazy. But we happen to like the ride quality of these, and I think that he will too, especially compared to those. Unlike the drum brakes, these look like they're going to be a little bit easier. Look at what we've got going on.
I know.
We've got some interesting suspension going on over here because we have this one shock, which shocking. Actually, the shocking part is that there's actually 2 rear shocks going on back here. We've got this quad shock, but we're not going to be replacing that one today.
No. And if you're not familiar with Fox Body Mustangs and this kind of setup, this quad shock setup is basically designed to control some of the bounce in that rear axle. So it's just a stabilizer in a sense. It's just an extra little shock.
Because, you know, help with our
if
lowering
2 are good, 4 is better, right?
Sure. But we're going to have to lower down the car because that
we are.
is in there, unfortunately.
Got it.
So,
all right. So, I will move the toolbox if you'd like to lower the car.
Sounds good. Will do.
That thing had been on there from the dawn of time.
All right, get that out of there.
I'm trying.
All right. There it goes. Okay. Beautiful. Well, we need this.
Okay.
All right. One done. Do you want to pull the other one out now while we're at it?
I suppose we could.
All right.
Stay.
Put that over there.
Stay. We've got the rear axle hanging, and we have our rear springs out. And how that you have them out, you can see dramatic difference between the old and the new. And obviously, this is where we're going to get our close to just shy of a 1-inch drop on the back.
Yeah, and I'm also noticing, actually, having them side by side, we got a nice little progressive spring right going on there. So, it's definitely going to feel a lot nicer as well.
Oh, yeah.
And we have our new polyurethane
Yes.
mounts. And actually, I think we have a whole kit of these for the entire car. And we're not going to
make a big difference.
Probably not going to get to every single one of these bushings, but we can.
Oh, you have little faith. Just kidding. We're definitely not getting to all of
it's
them.
Massive.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
not happening.
what do you want to do? Should we get this one? So it's
Like that
like
idea?
so.
I think,
My buddy.
honestly, it's going to slide right in.
Let's see.
Because it's shorter.
It should.
And then I just need you to raise it up
Oh, okay.
into its position. Yep, we're in good shape.
All
We
right,
have so much extra space because of the
Oh, yeah, look at
dramatic
that.
difference.
It is kind of a big difference.
Come on up.
That was easy.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah, we're golden.
Cool.
Golden.
Bolts in.
Bogi and Faye have the rear shocks and springs installed. And now it's time to turn their attention to some of the problems in the front end. Next, they'll show you the new clutch cable and tell you why the old one was starting to fail. The only thing that connects you to the road is your tires. That's why durability, reliability, and safety in perfect balance means so much to how your car performs on the road in any driving condition. Hercules Tire's new Road Tour Connect PCV is the balanced performer you need to keep your vehicle better connected to the road. This all-season tire combines intelligently integrated features from Hercules Tire's most popular touring tires to give you increased fuel efficiency and longer wear via the optimized tread, latest tread compound components, and smart construction. The siping and rib grooves of the Hercules Road Tour Connect PCV allow it to confidently perform, providing grip and traction needed to get going and stay connected to the road in wet and snow-covered road conditions. The Hercules Road Tour Connect PCV fits a wide range of passenger and crossover vehicles, including popular electric vehicle platforms. Backed by the Hercules Performance Promise with a 70,000 mileage treadwear coverage, a 45-day test drive program, and road hazard protection, Hercules Tires gives you every opportunity to connected to the future of all-around performance. This tip is brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Welcome back to All Girls Garage, y'all. Bogi and I wrapped up our brakes and our suspension in the rear, and now we're moving to the front. But before we start taking everything apart, the lift is in the perfect position for me to start tackling this clutch cable. So I'm just going to undo it from underneath, and then we'll get to it top while we're reaching those strut top bolts. So our customer was a little bit concerned about like a weird sort of feeling in the clutch pedal and also a little bit of noise. And what can happen over time, this is the original clutch cable, the cable itself can actually like stretch inside, and also like that little nylon liner that's inside can start to break down, and then there's some resistance in the cable when you're pushing on the pedal, and that sort of matched what we were feeling and what he was describing. So I think that just replacing this will be good. Also, this new adjustable, the factory one is not. So, factory one is hidden underneath this, and then there's just a little bracket in the engine bay. And once we get this down, we'll be able to get the rest of it from the firewall. This kit also comes with a new quadrant. It says Ford Racing on it. It's pretty fancy stuff. I just got all that dust in my face, but I got it. Oh, here we go. All right.
one little teeny tiny bolt is out, and all right, let go. Okay. All right, feeding it through to you.
Oh, I see something. Oh, I think I got it.
Nice. Okay. There we go.
Holy.
All right.
That was,
If at first you don't succeed, try 14 other different approaches until you win.
well, and, experience counts for something, right?
Absolutely. Doing the front shocks and springs are going to be slightly more complicated than the rear, but not tremendously so. We've got to take our stabilizer links disconnected, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull this caliper off and just hang it aside because we've got these two large pinch bolts and nuts that go around the spindle. So once I loosen that, this whole thing's going to flop forward. So I need to have as much, room for that to happen. Also, I've gone ahead and put the transmission jack underneath so I can support things and make sure we release the spring pressure in kind of a controlled manner and everybody gets to keep their eyes and fingers. And other than that, should be pretty straightforward. Of course, we're going to update all of our bushings with all of our cool new polyurethane bushings for the sway bar, for the spring. All of it's going to get this new fun stuff. This is to make sure it lasts a whole lot longer than the original stuff did. There we go. She's in there, but good. Yeah, that's been in there for a while. All right, we love our show and tells. We got to show you old versus new.
Oh.
Look how different. Ooh.
Well, the color's lovely. And actually, I'm actually seeing a difference.
There is a difference.
Yeah, yes. The fronts are being lowered a little bit more than the rears.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit more than an inch.
Little bit more than an inch. Yeah.
It'll look nice when it's on the ground.
Notably, the new ones don't have this sheer volume of egg.
Maybe that'll help.
The spring has clearly been in there for a really long time. Okay, so on a serious note, I mentioned these cool little pool noodles made out of polyurethane. These go around the spring at the base of it, much like this did, just much nicer and more effective than this cut piece of rubber. Oh. So it's going to just slide right on there. We don't even need to cut it. It just slides right into place.
That is so satisfying.
Right?
I'm going to do the other one. Can I do the other one?
Yes, you can totally do the other one.
We're here together.
And while we're doing that, we also have all of these other polyurethane bushings for our stabilizer links, for the top of our shocks.
Yeah, sorry,
all
I
of the
abandoned that
things.
project.
Yeah, I noticed. It's okay. We're like kindergartners. Ooh, shiny, new toy.
So it just goes like that?
It just goes like that.
Okay, well, it doesn't go as far as the other one. Does that matter?
No.
Hoping not. All right, now we'll go back.
Okay. Beautiful.
The problem is, though...
Still that. Well, then we have this.
Where? Oh!
We just need to get this up and under, though.
Love it.
The girls start installing the new spring and quickly realize this is not going to be simple. After they throw every tool at it, they'll get the spring in place and finish up the rest of the work in the front end.
Welcome back, guys. That turned out to be a whole lot more challenging than I think either of us expected.
Yes, you can see that the tools here on the table have doubled, and we've got hammers, we've got spring compressors, and a ratchet strap.
Yeah.
Whew. So as you can see, we did actually end up using the spring compressor. We have a ratchet strap holding it in place, and then it literally took everything that Bogi and I had to keep this in balance while we push it up into place. And then, of course, we also use the help of this jack.
So we spared you watching that because it was long and frustrating. There were a lot of four-letter words.
So next time your technician quotes you a lot of money to replace your front springs, just thank them and say, I'll see you tomorrow. So, after you drop your car off. So from here, we've got...
should be easy now.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we'll install the tie rod, get this up into place, and then that'll hold it a little bit for us.
Okay.
42.
Nice, right there. like that.
Hell
This is the
yeah.
easiest part of the job.
Thank goodness. All right, where'd you put the bolts?
I found it.
Yeah. I think we'll tighten it down all the way on the ground. All right, so we finished up our front wheel bearings unexpectedly, and our front brakes, and other side of our suspension done as well. And of course, the cherry on top is putting the wheels on, lowering the vehicle to the ground, jouncing it a little bit, and seeing what our final stance looks like. And you know, it's really, I mean, it's not too aggressive.
No,
I think it's going to be a really fun driver at this point. Of course, we're going to be the first ones to figure that out. We've got to sort of baby this thing over to the alignment shop. I think I got pretty good at that tie rod.
No, we were real close.
We were real close. But I mean, it's always good to do. He does have new tires on there. So
I think he's going to be really happy with this car.
I think so too.
Obviously, he's going to be able to drive it again for starters, but new brakes, new suspension, new stance.
Yep.
It's going to be real
Got the
nice.
clutch cable issue fixed.
Yes.
And, you know, this is one of those things where, like, we did so much that's, like, seems pretty basic, and it's almost embarrassing to show you, like, how difficult some of this stuff can be and how tricky some of this stuff can be. But this is real life in the shop. And I sort of wish we had more time with you guys to show a few more tips and tricks, but this is a lot of stuff we did. So thank you so much for watching, and you're just going to have to catch up with us next time and see what we're up to in the next episode. So, see y'all. Bye.
Bye.